Hello, Andrew here from Sea Run Fly and Tackle. I'm going to show you an easy and effective way to set up a quick release strike indicator rig that works great for fishing for trout in local lakes and lakes all across BC. So we only need a few things for this setup. First of all, we'll need our quick release strike indicators. We'll need a roll of 10-pound fluorocarbon, a roll of 4 or 6-pound fluorocarbon, some micro swivels, small split shot, of course our fly and our fly fishing rod setup. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of 10-pound fluorocarbon. The length of that 10-pound fluorocarbon is going to be determined by the depth that I'm going to fish in the lake. So let's say if I'm going to fish 10 feet, I'll use 10 feet of 10-pound fluorocarbon. 20 feet, 20 feet of 10-pound fluorocarbon. So I've already set up my 10-pound fluorocarbon on my rod. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my quick release strike indicator. They're two-part. We have a ball, we have a pick. I'll just separate them. First thing I'm going to do is slide my 10-pound fluorocarbon through the ball, and then we'll slide it through the pick. Okay, and once that is on the line, we'll just plug the pick into the ball, and that can slide freely. For now, we'll just let it slide. All right, so next thing, we need our micro swivel. This is so small it'll be hard to see. I'm going to tie the 10-pound fluorocarbon on. I'm going to do that using an improved clinch knot, where I just put the line through the eye of the swivel, make a loop, tag end goes around the main line, say about 5 or 6 times, and then we're going to go through this loop that I've held, and then there's a secondary loop that goes through there. So we just pull tight on that. That'll slide down, lock in place, nice and strong. Take your Dr. Slick nippers. We'll just trim the tag end down. I like to leave a little bit of a tag end just to make sure there's some extra knot strength there. Nothing will slip and break free. All right. So the next thing, we're going to add our tippet. So we're fishing 10 feet today, we'll say. So we got 10 feet of 10-pound fluorocarbon. Now my tippet length is always going to be about 3 to 4 feet, and I like to use 4 or 6-pound fluorocarbon. So I'm going to attach that 3 to 4 feet of 4 to 6-pound fluorocarbon onto the swivel using the improved clinch knot again. Just wrap that tag end around the main line about 5 or 6 times through the loop, and again we'll pull tight, grab our nippers, trim, leave a little bit of a tag end just for knot strength, security there. Everything's looking good. Okay, now we can tie our fly on, and really any fly will work good with this strike indicator setup. So what I've done is I've chosen a balanced leech here. They always fish perfectly under a strike indicator. That'll look really good. And I'm just going to use an improved clinch knot again. Easy knot to tie, and it works for tying line to just about anything. Good strong knot. Pull tight, lock that in place. Again, leaving a little bit of a tag end off the knot. Okay, let's get organized now. We're going to take a split shot, 1 or 2, depending on how much weight you want to use. That's up to you. And we'll just crimp them onto the line, and it's going to go right onto the 10-pound fluorocarbon line, right above our swivel. So this is you can see it's a very, very small split shot. So we will be able to cast this. Get our pliers. I like to just hold the split shot in the pliers. Oh, it's so small. I need another one here. There we go. A little bit of a struggle. That's not going to work. There you go. All right, we got it. Once that's on, that'll just sit right above our swivel. I'm just going to pinch that down just a little bit tighter. Okay, Make sure it's not pinched onto the knot, but just above the knot. So we got that on there. All right. So now I'll just show you again quickly. We have about 3 to 4 feet of 4 to 6 pound fluorocarbon tippet. Our fly is tied on the end of that tippet. Very small micro swivel. Very small little mini split shot. We got a section of 10 pound fluorocarbon going to our fly line. And on that 10 pound, we have, of course, our quick release strike indicator. So we want to set the strike indicator on the 10 pound, and however far above the weight and the swivel our strike indicator is, we're going to call that our float depth. So I'm going to say I'm going to start fishing in about 6 feet of water today. So I'll have this strike indicator set about 4 feet above my swivel, so 4 feet of float depth, and then I'll have my tippet hanging below that with my fly. And how I'm going to set that up, I'm going to pull the pick out of the ball. I'm going to just fold a loop, and I'm going to put that pick back into the ball. So what happens when I make that loop and then jam the pick back into the ball, that strike indicator doesn't slide. So I'll show you that again one more time. If I take that out, right, of course with no loop, that slides free, but we need to lock it in place to create our depth. So again, pick out of the ball, fold the loop, plug that in place. Now that's not going to slide. And I can cast this, slap it on the water all day long, and it holds in place really, really well. I didn't really never have any issues with that breaking free until a fish takes our fly, bites, and gives that leader a good pull. So what happens, and the reason I like to use these quick release strike indicators, what happens is if I catch a fish and this strike indicator is stuck on my leader, so that fish is going to be 6 or 10 or 20 feet away from me. Makes it awkward to land them. So to make it a little bit easier to land them, these quick release strike indicators, when you catch a fish, that fish pulls down on the fly and the line, it pops free, and all of a sudden that slides down to our swivel. Now instead of 6 or 10 or 20 feet of line between our strike indicator and the fish, we just have our tippet, which is 3 to 4 feet. That makes things a lot easier to deal with when you get the fish to the boat or the bank. Much easier to land them that way. So I want to show you another thing really quick. When I rig these quick release strike indicators up, I always like to have the pick facing down towards the swivel rather than up. So the reason I do that is because this way it stops, because this is a smaller hole here in the pick than it is in the ball. It'll always stop and catch at that swivel or strike indicator. If I do it the other way, I got a bigger hole here on the bottom of the strike indicator, and I can actually slide through. And in some cases, if you catch a really big fish and your leader snaps, that might come right off the line. This way it's always caught on there. So just rig that up with the pick facing down towards the swivel. It's a bit of a safety measure to keep your strike indicator on the line. Again, easy to lock it in place, pull the pick out, make a loop. We're locked in there. All right, so I'm ready to go cast at hopefully some big trout, one of our local lakes, and soon to be in the interior lakes. So I hope you guys enjoy fishing this system. Again, easy to use, only need a few things to do it. Super effective. When that big trout climbs on and that strike indicator drops, set the hook. Enjoy catching a nice big fish. Thanks, guys.